It's time for your daily dose of corporates and market. You're watching Corporate Central. I'm Shrestha Tiwari. Over to the day's big corporate stories. First up is Adani Group, which remained in focus on Wednesday due to two news reports. The first news is that the deals in the shares of three companies of Adani Group are on the radar of the market regulator, SEBI. According to a report, this matter is related to Adani Power, Adani Green and Ambuja Cement. It has been said in the report that SEBI suspects insider trading in some dealings in the shares of these three companies. At present, SEBI is collecting information regarding the dealings of shares. And the second news is that Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani has alleged that some people use the Hindenburg report for their own selfish reasons and that misconceptions were created on the news and social media platforms. Tata Sons has challenged 1,500 crore rupees tax claim settlement on defunct Docomo Telecom. During a hearing before the Goods and Services Tax official, Tata Sons reportedly challenged 1,500 crore rupees tax demand on its $1.27 billion settlement in 2017 with entity Docomo. The Directorate General of the GST Intelligence has now moved the Bombay High Court seeking an extension for the next hearing. The DGGI has asked for a 3-month extension since officials need to study the voluminous documents. In more news on Tata's, the Competition Commission of India has issued a show-cause notice to Air India on its merger with Vistara. The Tata Group has 30 days to respond to the notice. The parent company of Byjus, Think and Learn, has remitted 123 crore rupees provident fund dues of employees for the period of August 2022 to May 2023. It has also committed to pay the balance 3.43 crore rupees in the next couple of days. On the valuation front, the EdTech received another jolt as tech investors process cut the company's valuation by almost 75% to just $5.1 billion. But it was not all gloom for Byjus as a US court has rejected a plea by lenders to investigate the $500 million transfer made by subsidiary Alpha to other entities. The company is also reported to be in talks with investors to raise $1 billion to stave off attempts to cut Baiju Ravindran's control over the company. Online food and grocery delivery platform Swiggy's losses jumped 80% year-on-year in FY23, even as gross merchandise value of its food delivery business grew 26%. The company's biggest investor Process said this in its annual financial report on Tuesday. On the other hand, Process fintech investment PayU witnessed its revenue jump 31% in FY23 to $399 million but saw a trading loss of $10 million as it shut down its Lazy Pay card business. It said that PayU India is close to a break-even. The Vedanta Foxconn joint venture on Tuesday said that it has resubmitted an application to set up an electronic chip manufacturing plant in India. Its earlier application could not qualify for receiving financial incentives after it failed to get a partner with technical expertise in producing advanced semiconductor chips. In the new application for making chips under the government's $10 billion production-linked incentive scheme, the company has sought government incentive in the 40 nanometer chip category instead of 28 nanometer proposed earlier. The announcement comes a day after media reports stated that Foxconn was searching for a new partner, stepping back from the year-old joint venture with the Anil Agarwal-led Vedanta Group. Largest public sector lender in India, SBI, on Tuesday has received an approval of the Executive Committee of the Central Board to acquire the entire 20% stake held by SBI Capital Markets in SBI pension funds. In another development, S&P upgraded its rating on assessment of the standalone credit profiles of SBI. The transfer is subject to regulatory approvals. Google has filed an appeal in the Supreme Court against the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal's order upholding the Competition Commission of India's 1,338 crore rupees penalty on the company. The fine was imposed on Google over its anti-competitive practices. Google has said that it looks forward to presenting their case and demonstrating how Android has benefited Indian users and developers. And from corporates, now moving on to the stocks of the day and also analyze the reason behind it. First up is although the shares of Adani Group were in focus on Wednesday, but the shares of Adani Enterprises and Adani Green had maximum action. The stock of Adani Enterprises saw a jump of up to 6% in intraday. The stock touched a high of 2,418.60 rupees in the first few minutes after a block deal of 1.8 crore shares and was the top gainer in the Nifty 50 list. This deal was struck at 2,300 rupees per share, valuing the deal at 4,100 crore rupees. On the contrary, Adani Green Energy, which also saw a block deal of 4.18 crore shares, declined more than 6%. At one point, the stock had slipped below 900 rupees. However, the closing happened with a substantial recovery. The block deal was struck at 930 rupees per share. The value of the deal is estimated at 4,412 crore rupees, and it is believed that GQG Partners, IHC and some other investors have bought shares in this block deal, after which the market cap of the entire group has reached around 10 lakh crore rupees. Shares of Titagarh Rail touched a record high of 528.75 rupees. The share jumped up to 5%. The reason behind the rise on Wednesday is the big order received from Gujarat Metro Rail Corporation. The order is valued at 857 crore rupees. In the last 1 year, this stock has increased more than 5 times. The execution of this order will start 76 weeks after the contract is signed, and the order is expected to be completed in 132 weeks from the date of commencement. Earlier on June 15, the company and a consortium of Ramakrishna Forgings Limited had received an order for 15,40,000 forged wheels from the railways. Shares of the country's 6th largest IT company, LTI touched a record high of 5,210 rupees on Wednesday. During the day, the stock saw a jump of 1%, although there was some profit booking before closing. The uptrend in this stock is linked to the merger of HDFC and HDFC Bank. HDFC will be delisted from markets on July 13th, and a slot in Nifty would open up. According to reports, LTI may replace HDFC in the index. If this happens, then the stock is expected to attract $15 to $16 million funds. Jefferies has given an underperformed rating on the stock because it believes that weak economic conditions and global reduction in IT spending will impact the company's earnings growth. Furnishing company Sheela Foam stock saw a jump of more than 8% on Wednesday. The stock also touched a high of 1,272.6 rupees during the day. In fact, according to media reports, Sheela Foam may buy its rival Kurlon Enterprise, and the deal is said to be worth 3,250 crore rupees. The deal may double the market share of the company. In the organized sector, the market share of Sheela Foam can increase to 35 to 40%, which is currently between 20 to 25%. According to the report, this deal may be completed in 2 phases, in which 100% shares of Kurlon will be bought. It is believed that this deal can be completed in the next 2 months. That was all about corporates and markets for the day, but before the showdown, over to some important corporate events and triggers which could make big market impacts. On June 29th, Indian markets will remain closed on Bakrid, and it's Wipro's last day for buyback. Also, board meeting of ICICI Securities will be held to consider delisting. AU Small Finance Bank will meet to consider raising capital through issue of shares. European and US markets will see the impact of Fed chairman's speech at ECB board meeting. Globally, on June 29th, US Q1 GDP figures to be released, and US Fed will release the results of stress test of banks. Well, that is all tonight on Corporate Central. Before signing off, get to know what the PFRDA chairman has said on pension. To know, watch the exclusive interview on June 29th at 7 p.m. only on Money9.